perfect. Don't get it twisted. Nobody's perfect. But when you're intentional about planning your life, you will see how things will begin to fall in place.
Welcome to Life Through the Eyes of Jesus with Cece.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Cece. Thank you so much for stopping by. Real quick today, in my last video, I had posted in the description a link to my Spotify channel where I had talked about some of the life lessons that 2024 taught me. Today, I wanted to dive in a little bit on one of them. One of the things that 2024 revealed to me was the fact that I had a challenge with time management. I realized I needed help in that area of my life. Why? Because I had looked at my life towards the end of the year and realized that in 2024, I was very busy. I was so busy doing a lot of things. But now, when I had to think through, okay, what I did, what I accomplished, what I achieved, I couldn't really lay my hands on one. And I'm like, but why was I so busy? I learned that I was busy because, number one, I did not set clear goals. Now, even if I started the year with goals, I did not have plans in place to accomplish them. Number two, I probably was multitasking a lot. You know how they say, jack of all trades, master of none? When you're doing so much, but you're not really being excellent in one thing, right? I saw myself doing a whole lot of things. I was saying yes to almost everything, even when I know I should have said no. And so most of those things I realized were, ate into my time, and I just didn't have time for the things that I really, really wanted to do. And so towards the end of the year, I often take time to sit down, think about the year, think about what I want to do in the coming year, write down my goals, and start praying towards them. One of the things I'm praying about is that God will help me, in time management and in planning. And God's so faithful. As I was trying to find out what study material that I would use this year for my Bible study sessions, I have this Bible app on my phone. It's the YouVersion app, and I stumbled into this study titled The Discipline of Planning. It was just so timely. I wasn't looking for keywords. I was just really looking for a good study guide. And I think God just knew that I needed this. And I just wanted to share some of the things that I've been learning so far from this. If you are in that boat and you have issues with time management, you're in the right place. We're going to learn together and we will be better for it in the year 2025. Okay. So I'm going to share scriptures that so far I have stumbled upon while studying this plan. Number one is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 16. The two verses that I'm going to read is verse 3 and verse 9. So verse 3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. And verse 9 says, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. So I remember that in that video that I recorded, or in the podcast itself, I had talked about the fact that committing your plans to God is very critical. Yes, it's great to have goals. I would advise that if you do not have goals, that you've written down clear goals that you want to achieve, please, it's not too late. It's never too late. Take time to write them down and ask God to direct your path. Ask God to help you. Commit them to Him, because throughout the year, you're going to see how committing your plans to God is very beneficial and fruitful in helping you accomplish your goals. So this verse or this scripture is really telling us to commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. That means if there's anything that you've written down that is really not in line with what He wants for you, He will redirect you. Right? He will order your steps in such a way that you end up not spending time doing things that you have no business doing. And then the other one says, yes, in your heart, you have to plan what it is that you want to do, but you have to commit it to Him and He will establish your steps. Now, what this study guide showed me is the fact that prayer shows your dependency on God, because you pray to God with the understanding that He knows better and He's able to answer, while planning shows your responsibility. So it is our responsibility to plan, right? But it's also our own responsibility to pray, showing that we are depending on God, because prayer it's about your faith now, in the fact that, okay, I've planned, but I know there's someone who's greater than I am that can bring these plans to fruition. So please, if you haven't taken time to write down your goals, I would advise you to do it and do your best to walk towards it, God being your helper. Now, some of the things that I would encourage you to do, for those of us that are still trying to figure out this whole planning thing, if you look around you, God may have placed around you people that have strengths in the area of planning. At least I just one person that I know who is a member of my church, and just watching her videos on Instagram just makes me understand that wow, that there are really people that have this gift of being able to plan their life. Now, nobody is perfect, don't get it twisted. Nobody is perfect, but when you're intentional about planning your life, you will see how things will begin to fall in place. So, one thing that I'm learning and what I'm going to work on this year is the fact that I'm going to make very clear goals. Even at the beginning of the year, I gathered my kids, we sat down, we wrote down goals. Even my kids wrote down what they wanted to achieve this year and we prayed over it. And I'm going to make sure that I work with them to achieve their goals. So you have to set clear goals. Setting clear goals is the start. Set those clear goals and then have plans in place to accomplish them. It is not enough to set goals without a plan to accomplish them. That's one. Number two, time management strategies. What does that mean? It means that I will be intentional about literally putting it in my calendar. So if I know that I want to make a doctor's appointment for myself or for my kids, I'm going to put it in my calendar and be like, okay, on this day, I'm going to make sure that I call the doctor's office. That is intentionality. It's like knowing that if I don't put this in my calendar, if I don't write it down in my notes in my phone, I might forget. So those are the little steps that you can take to help you with managing your time and planning better. Three, minimizing distractions. Yes, minimizing distractions. There's so much noise everywhere. There's noise from your social media platforms. There's noise from work. There's noise from the kids if you have kids. There's just literally noise everywhere. So there's the tendency for you to get distracted, sidelined. So yes, you want to minimize distractions. Whatever it is, you alone know what those distractions are. Identify them and minimize them. Shut them down. If you have to get off social media for a while in order for you to focus, please do that. I remember something that happened to me 2 nights ago. I was working on something. I think it had to do with either my business or I was working on something on the laptop and I got distracted. I was like, you know what, let me just chill and watch a movie. And I put on a movie and I was watching it. But while I was watching that movie, my heart kept nudging me, girl, go back to that laptop and finish that work. So yes, those distractions will come, but you have to literally stop in your tracks. Ask yourself if where you are and what you're doing is what you should be doing. And if it's not, just do yourself a favor and get back to it. The last thing that I'm going to share is say no. My friends, please, let's learn to say no 2025. God will help me to learn to say no very politely, very nicely. So if you're that person that finds it difficult to say no, you're not alone. We're going to learn how to say no to things we should say no to, right? And we're going to learn how to say, you know what, let me get back to you on that. I'm going to think about if I have time to be available for that outing or to be available for that project. We're going to be intentional about our responses to anything. So yes, I hope that these few things that I've shared will help you on your journey as it will help me by the grace of God. And we will have a much more fruitful and profitable 2025. Till I come your way next time. Bye.